Just in, Princess Leonor and her future groom, the love story everyone is talking about. Ring fire. A future queen. A life shaped by duty. A heart expected to wait. Except, it didn't. Because while the world focused on tradition, something unexpected was happening behind palace walls. A love story. Real, quiet, and now unstoppable. But here's the twist: the person everyone thought Princess Leonor would end up with, isn't the one who captured her heart. And once you hear how it began, you'll understand why Spain has never seen anything like this. The script body. It begins not with a royal ball or a diplomatic gala, but with a moment so ordinary it almost feels unbelievable. The heir to the Spanish throne, Princess Leonor, sitting in a quiet study hall during her early months at the academy in Zaragoza. Books open, uniform neat, face focused, the weight of an entire nation resting on her shoulders. But for the first time in her life, that day, she wasn't the one staring. She was the one being watched. He noticed her first. A young cadet. Tall, reserved, the kind of person who avoided attention rather than chased it. His name, whispered now among royal followers, carries an unexpected simplicity, a name tied not to royal bloodlines, but to discipline, honor, and a story of his own. A story Spain didn't know it needed. At first, Leonor didn't know who he was. She didn't notice the small glances. The quiet respect. The unspoken admiration from someone who saw her not as a monarch in the making, but as a young woman finding her place in a world she didn't choose. This is where the first curiosity loop begins. Because when people talk about Princess Leonor and her rumored future groom, the biggest question isn't, who is he? It's, how did he get close to her in a world built to keep everyone out? The answer starts during her training rotations. Unlike her public events, polished, rehearsed, tightly controlled, military life left no space for formality. Leonor was treated like any other cadet. She marched with them, ate with them, trained with them, failed with them, hurt with them, pushed through exhaustion with them. And that's exactly when he stepped into her life. Not dramatically, not romantically, not with some fairy tale introduction, but with a simple, steady act. She was struggling with a maneuver. Too many eyes on her. Pressure mounting. For the first time, doubt flickering through the future queen's expression. And before anyone else could even react, he quietly stepped beside her. Adjusted her stance. Guided her breathing. Spoke only a few words. "You're capable. Don't overthink it." It wasn't flirtation. It was understanding. And it changed everything. From that moment, Leonor noticed him too. He became the one constant presence in a world that demanded perfection from her. Someone who didn't treat her like royalty, but like a human being navigating an impossible destiny. That closeness didn't happen overnight. It grew slowly, naturally, in the shared silences during marches, in small exchanges across the training ground, in those moments when both of them were too exhausted to speak, but somehow found comfort just being near each other. But palace watchers will ask another question. Why him? Why this young cadet when Leonor could marry into any royal family in Europe? The truth is deeper than status. He comes from a home built on discipline, not privilege. A father who served. A mother who worked tirelessly. A family rooted in respect, humility, and commitment. These values resonated with Leonor, not as a princess, but as a young woman who had been raised to understand the responsibility of a crown. And perhaps most importantly, he never tried to impress her. Never asked for favors. Never took advantage. Never stood closer than he needed to. He respected the boundaries of a future queen, even when he didn't know whether she would ever be allowed to reciprocate. And that is precisely what made her fall. The next curiosity loop opens here. How did the palace react? At first, with quiet concern. A royal heir falling for someone outside aristocratic circles is rare. It raises questions, risks, fears of public judgment, concerns about security, privacy, stability, and political implications. Queen Letizia understood immediately. She had lived this story before, the outsider who captured a royal heart. The journalist who changed the monarchy forever. The woman who turned tradition upside down simply by loving a king. Letizia saw what Leonor felt long before Leonor admitted it. King Felipe, however, approached it differently. Protective, careful, a father before a monarch. He wanted to ensure his daughter's safety, emotionally and politically. Not to control her, but to shield her from the storms that inevitably follow royal love. Meanwhile, the public didn't know any of this. Not the glances. Not the training moments. Not the subtle gestures of support. Not the quiet dinners shared only in group settings. Not the genuine friendship that deepened long before romance ever appeared. While Spain focused on official events, royal outfits, and diplomatic ceremonies, a love story was silently building behind the scenes. But then, everything changed. There was a moment, small, subtle, but powerful, that confirmed their connection in a way that even royal insiders couldn't deny. It happened during a ceremony. Leonor stood in formation. Soldiers around her held their posture with absolute precision. Cameras rolled. Reporters watched from a distance. She glanced sideways. A tiny moment. A fraction of a second. But she smiled. The kind of smile she never shows in official settings. Soft. Private. Unrehearsed. And he smiled back. The palace noticed. So did her instructors. It wasn't flirtatious. It wasn't inappropriate. But it was undeniably real. This brings us to the next curiosity loop. Is he her future groom? Here's where the narrative deepens. Leonor is unlike any heir Spain has ever seen. Independent. Educated. Disciplined. Quietly confident. She wants a partner who walks beside her, not behind her. Someone strong enough to handle the pressure. Someone grounded enough to keep her anchored. Someone loyal enough to stand firm when the world shifts. And he is exactly that. Their connection is built not on fantasy, but on shared experiences that most people will never understand. Both of them shaped by structure. Both raised to serve something bigger than themselves. Both pulled into a life where sacrifice is not an option, but an expectation. Those who know them say their bond is effortless. Mature. Honest. Built on small truths rather than grand gestures. A rare kind of love. A royal love that feels real. But here comes the next curiosity loop, the one Spain whispers about. Does the palace approve? The answer is both yes, and not yet. The palace understands that Leonor deserves the chance to choose love, not just duty. But they also know the scrutiny will be fierce. Every part of his life will be dissected. His background, his family, his career, his past friendships, everything. And so, the palace is watching. Not to stop the relationship, but to make sure the man who stands beside the future queen is prepared for a life that no ordinary person can imagine. And make no mistake, he is preparing too. He's pursuing advanced training, continuing his discipline, building a record of honor, commitment, and professionalism. Not because he wants to be royal, but because he wants to be worthy of the woman he loves. This is where the story becomes more emotional. Because behind closed doors, in the quietest moments, Leonor and her rumored future groom share one unshakable understanding. Their love, if it continues to grow, must be stronger than pressure, stronger than expectations, stronger than the monarchy itself. They speak carefully. They protect each other fiercely. They guard their privacy because they know their future depends on it. They are not rushing. They are not forcing anything. They are letting their story unfold naturally, step by step, moment by moment. And now, more than ever, Spain is watching. Families talk about them at dinner tables. Young couples see themselves in their story. Older generations see echoes of Felipe and Letizia. And royal watchers feel something they don't often feel with modern monarchies. Hope. Hope for a genuine love story. Hope for a queen who follows her heart. Hope for a future king consort who rose not from privilege, but from honor. Hope for a monarchy grounded in authenticity rather than tradition alone. And here's the final curiosity loop, the one that keeps the world fascinated. Will they marry? The truth is simple. If their bond continues to grow, yes. Because Leonor is not a princess who chooses lightly. She is thoughtful, disciplined, emotionally intelligent, and deeply aware of the weight of her future role. If she allows someone into her heart, it is because she truly sees a future with him. And he, in turn, has already shown the qualities Spain hopes for in the man who will one day walk beside their queen. Strength without arrogance, humility without weakness, loyalty without hesitation, love without conditions. This love story is not a fairy tale. It is not a palace fantasy. It is not a glamorous distraction. It is the story of two young people who met in the most unexpected of circumstances and discovered something deeper than duty, deeper than tradition, deeper than the crown itself. And as Spain leans closer, listening, watching, wondering, one thing is clear: Princess Leonor's future may be defined by destiny. But her heart is choosing its own path. A path toward the man who saw her not as a queen, but as a girl searching for someone who understood her. This is the love story everyone is talking about. And it has only just begun.